Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're actually going to be taking a look at the NFL power rankings going into week number 17. And as you guys can see on the headline, there's a couple of things here, right? The Ravens are red hot. They just beat the San Francisco 49ers. They're the new number 1. The Chiefs fall down to number 9. But where are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers ranked? We're going to go ahead and take a look at where Eric Edholm has the Bucs ranked here on NFL.com. And I'm going to be giving my thoughts and opinions on this ranking. Now, you go into number 1, it's the Baltimore Ravens. Coming at number 2, it's the San Francisco 49ers. Number 3 is the Miami Dolphins. Number 4 is the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 5 is the Detroit Lions. Nothing really surprising there. Those are some of the top teams in the entirety of the NFL. Not really surprising given where all of those teams are ranked. At number 6, you have the Dallas Cowboys with a 10-5 record. At number 7, you have the Buffalo Bills coming in. They went up 1 rank. At number 8, you have the Cleveland Browns. At number 9, as mentioned in the headline, you have the Kansas City Chiefs coming in. This is where things get interesting. At number 10, you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. NFL.com is saying that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the 10th best team right now in the NFL. Right? I was not expecting that. And I will say, I did see a very similar ranking on BleacherReport.com that also had the Bucs ranked number 10, but to see the consistency of the Bucs being named a top 10 team is pretty wild to think about, in my opinion. And in this paragraph, it talks about how it's hard to believe that this is the same Bucs team that lost 6 out of their 7 after going 3-1 to start off the year. It talks about how big the past month has been for the Bucs, and we've talked about this at length, right? Baker Mayfield, a lot of people viewed him as a bridge quarterback. It talks about that in this article, but then it goes on to say that he's keeping the Bucs competitive after the Tom Brady era has come to an end. Baker Mayfield has looked phenomenal in a prove-it-esque year. The Bucs have looked phenomenal in a prove-it-esque situation this year. They've been going out there and they've been doing so many good things that not a lot of people expected them to do. And that is an absolute truth, is that a lot of people thought the Bucs were going to win 3, 4, 5 games this year, but they're going out there. They have 8 wins on the year with 2 games left to play, and they're getting ranked above teams like the LA Rams, the Houston Texans, who beat the Bucs and have been very impressive throughout this year, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who the Bucs were able to beat literally just a week ago, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Indianapolis Colts. You have a lot of teams here with the same 8-7 record. The Bengals 8-7, the Colts 8-7, the Seahawks 8-7, the Jags 8-7, the Texans 8-7, the Rams 8-7. They're saying the Bucs are the best out of this bunch. That's pretty notable, and again, speaks to where the Bucs are now as a team, even versus where they were a month ago when they were 4-7. They've won 4 straight. They have the possibility to win 6 straight to finish out the year and have Detroit Lions last year levels of hype surrounding them going into the playoffs possibly. It's a big jump. It is a big jump, and so many people are responsible for that. Baker Mayfield's done a fantastic job. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rachaad White. On the defensive side of things, Levante David and Antoine Winfield Jr. have been phenomenal. Yaya Diaby has stepped up. Kalijah Kancey has stepped up. Todd Bowles, I think, has even stepped up. And, we were in a situation, myself included. I'm going to completely, say that I was included in this mix of people who were saying, look, the Bucs are 4-7 right now. Is it really going to be a situation where this team can rebound and improve? It's certainly possible, but it's not a guarantee that this team's going to improve from 4-7. Things look pretty bleak, but the team continued to fight and battle and scrap, and now they find themselves where they are now at an 8-7 record and ranked number 10 in the NFL, right on the cusp of all these teams that are really in the mix with one another, right? All these 8-7 teams in the AFC and the NFC, a lot of wild card-esque teams. They're saying that the Bucs are essentially the best of those prospective playoff teams. And that's such a cool thing to see, the national respect for the Bucs to be named a top 10 team in the NFL and to see them just really get that love and get that recognition that I think that they deserve based on how they've played the last month. You know, they've gone out and beaten, again, 2 playoff caliber teams in the past 2 weeks, in my opinion, and the Packers and the Jags. That's not an easy thing to do. And this is how they find themselves ranked number 10 now. And you know, do I agree with it? I think you can make a legitimate argument. The teams that are above the Bucs right now, the Chiefs, the Browns, the Bills, the Cowboys, the Lions, the Eagles, Dolphins, 49ers, Ravens, all those guys feel like it makes sense for them to be above the Bucs based on where the Bucs are right now. The teams that are below them, the Rams, the Texans. Of course, the Texans have been dealing with so many different types of injuries. The Rams have been on fire lately. I mean, heck, the Rams were 3-6 at one point. Now they're at 8-7. So they've been battling their way back as well, very much like what the Bucs were doing. The Jags, of course, the Bucs would be above them. They just beat them. The Bengals, they don't have Joe Burrow. Otherwise, they'd probably be higher up in this ranking. The Colts, yes, the Colts did beat the Bucs, but seems like the Bucs have been showing much better stretch the past since they lost to the Colts. They've been looking absolutely like a different football team. The Seahawks, the Steelers, the Vikings, the Packers, the Falcons. I mean, first off, the Bucs have beaten Minnesota, Green Bay, and Atlanta throughout this year. So yeah, I don't think that this is a crazy ranking to say the Bucs are a top 10 team right now. To say that, you know, I don't want to use the word mediocrity, but for all of these teams that are playoff hopeful, that are wild card hopeful, the Bucs are the best of the bunch. The only team that I would say maybe you could say would be above the Bucs would be the Rams, but even right now, you can't argue that the Bucs, I would say, are the hottest team in football right now. Given they've won 4 straight, they haven't lost in the month of December. They're 1 win away from an NFC crown. Their 3rd year in a row, be their 4th year in a row making the playoffs. I got that wrong in the last video, and people, oh buddy, I got smacked down for that one. But yeah, this is a team that's white hot right now, that has all the momentum on their side, both offensively and defensively, and they just seem to be getting better every single week on both sides of the football. So this is a team that feels like is not only, you know, kind of a bridge team between, again, those wild card hopeful teams and those division winning teams, the teams that you do expect to make some noise in the playoffs. I think the Bucs are slowly getting into that conversation of why isn't this a team that can't, you know, why can't the Bucs win a playoff game? Why can't the Bucs maybe shock the world and win a wild card round against the Dallas Cowboys or against the Philadelphia Eagles? I think it seems like a pretty legitimate possibility to consider here based on how the past month has been, because the narrative's changed, folks, and I'll be honest, it's changed for me. It's changed for a lot of people. A lot of people were ready to count out Todd Bowles and this Bucs coaching staff and this team as a whole in some ways. I will say that I still had a lot of faith in Baker Mayfield, but Todd Bowles and his coaching staff, I'll be honest, when they were 4-7, I didn't have a lot of faith in these guys in that coaching staff, but they've really turned it around in a huge way. I know I've heard some people say, hey, Todd Bowles coach of the year, maybe. I'm not going to go that far yet again, but to say that they are the 10th best team in the NFL, that really doesn't feel like a stretch right now based on how white hot they've been the past month and how they have an opportunity to finish this year. Folks, they could climb a bit higher. Now, I'm not going to say they're going to make it up to number 5 or anything along those lines, but if they keep on winning, I could see them get up to number 7, number 8, something along those lines, and be a team where you say, hey, this is a team that could make some noise, and this is a team that you do need to pay attention to. That would not be crazy to say at all. So it's an interesting thought. It's an interesting opinion. Bleacher Report and NFL.com both have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here at number 10. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the Bleacher Report article as well real quick, just so we can get a look at it, because I was doing it whenever we were taking a look at the power rankings for the Bleacher Report video, if I can find it. Here they are. You're going into week 17, Carolina Panthers, so many different types of teams are in that mix. You go all the way to number 10. Oh, that's number 13. We got to keep on going. You go to number 10. You got the Bucs in there at number 10 as well. So it's interesting, man. It's interesting. Let's pay attention to the Bucs because they're making some noise. National media is finally starting to pay attention and take notice, and it's a pretty good feeling. What do you guys think? Do you think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a top 10 team in the NFL? Do you feel like they're kind of that bridge between playoff hopefuls and teams that can make some noise in the playoffs and are leaning more towards a team that could make some noise? Let me know your thoughts and opinions. I'd love to hear it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. As always, guys, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.